We're Joseph and Kaylee, an international couple from the Czech Republic and Canada.
We bought a 2008 extended Sprinter van, packed up our flat in Prague, and moved out to my village.
Our plan is to convert our van into a tiny home on wheels and travel around Europe with our dogs Arthur and Athena. So today we are going to be installing our solar panel and hopefully finishing the majority of our exterior of our van. We have been meaning to do this for what, like 3 weeks now?
Something like that.
And weather was not really allowing us to do that. It has been raining non-stop, which I think we've mentioned in every video so far because it's just unbelievable amounts of rain.
So recently Czech Republic has like a lot of floods and a lot of cities are getting flooded.
Yeah, like we're not just complaining about the rain to complain about it. It's actually like problem.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, it's like a problem right now in the Czech Republic. I should also probably mention I really scraped myself up working yesterday, so please pardon how disgusting my face looks right now. Today we are also going to be installing a Fiamma awning. So it is 3.5 meters long and 2.5 meters wide. So obviously we're going to be living in a van. That's going to give us a ton of extra space outdoors.
We are going to be making DIY roof rack, which is made from aluminum. We ordered it online. It's going to be basically like a Lego. So we put it together, we should screw it together, and it should hold and be already ready. Like we shouldn't be doing any drilling or anything like that.
To clarify, the reason we're not doing any drilling is because we're going to be attaching it in the roof rails where there's already holes.
The reason why we are putting a roof rack on the van is because we are going to be attaching the solar panel to it and also the awning, which is quite long, so we wanted something sturdy.
We need to install one more fan. I know we've already installed two, but we're installing a third one, which is much smaller, and it's also solar powered. And this is going to go in our bathroom, so it's just an extraction fan, just because we don't want any dampness in the van.
So last thing, we are gonna be painting the exterior a little bit, and I'm gonna explain it later because it's definitely not gonna get done today.
Too much to do today?
Yeah.
I guess we should get started then.
So I was ordering these L brackets for the roof rack, and I didn't notice that they have on the sides these small, I don't really know how I would call them, like knobs, which secure the L bracket in a roof rack. And we were trying to put it like this, and it doesn't really work.
So basically the problem when it comes to building the actual frame itself, the brackets that we have are designed so that you can put the two pieces of metal together like this. What we need to do, because the one is going in the roof rail, it's going to be lower, so we're not able to put them together in that same way. We actually need to put the one on top of the other, which is what's making the problem.
So we decided to cut off these pieces with angle grinder, and we hope that it's gonna work so we don't have to buy new ones. We cut the pieces and it looks really sturdy, and we think that it's gonna fit.
In order to attach the roof rack to the roof of the van, we're gonna use these bolts. This is pretty much how you attach everything with this. So it's a weird shape because it fits perfectly in here. So this part's gonna go on the bottom of the roof rack, and then the bolt will go through the holes that are there for the roof rail.
I started by pulling out the plugs for the roof rails. I then applied a sealant to all the holes, dropped the bolts through the holes, and placed the aluminum bar on the top.
I turned the bolts to the right to secure them to the aluminum bar on the roof and tightened the nuts.
I added more sealant from the inside to make sure there were no leaks. So we already put the roof rails on the passenger side, and before we are able to put the roof rails on the driver's side, we need to put on this solar vent. To make a hole in a van for our fan, we are going to be using this drill bit. It's 127 millimeters and it was 30 euros. I used a hole saw to cut the opening. Then installed the vent the same way as the max fence. I filed the edges, painted the raw metal. I used Sikaflex to level the area, hold it in place, and seal the hole. Finally, I sealed the inside just to be sure. So on the passenger side we used 3.6 meters roof rail, and on the driver's side we are using these small ones because there is going to be a vent, so they are going to be close to each other and the vent is going to be between them.
Finally, we installed the small rails on the driver's side the same way we installed the first one.
We are able to try how we are going to attach the roof rack to the awning. I'm not able to attach it like this as I wanted to, so we will have to figure it somehow different.
So after lots and lots of thinking and researching and pondering, this contraption is our solution for mounting our awning. So this right here is the mount for the awning, and then everything in between are the pieces that Joseph had purchased with a different plan in mind. And then on the back is a custom bracket, which luckily Joseph's dad is actually a welder, so he had all the tools necessary to make us this custom bracket. So we're gonna kind of explain how we did it, because I'm quite impressed with Joseph's planning. Even though I came up with the idea of a bracket and he said no, he then planned a good bracket. So good job, Joseph.
Yeah. So for the awning mount, we have all these parts. It takes, I would say, some time to put it together. It's not that hard. I'm just gonna assemble it on this piece. So you take these two, put it down here, put the beam between them. So this piece is to simulate the roof rails. So you basically put it on like this, and then you start securing it. So now I installed both L brackets, and I'm gonna install this custom bracket with these 3 bolts. Now we're gonna install the FIAMA bracket, which is this, and we need to put the screws through holes like this, because here is gonna be a FIAMA, and we put it through the holes of the custom bracket. We are gonna put in the washers and secure it with nut, and then you just tighten all the bolts and then put a Sikaflex on the back of the FIAMA adapter or bracket, so it's secure and it's not moving around.
So in order to install the brackets, you have to actually open the awning up. And when we did, we noticed that there are scratches all over it, the inside of one of the legs. Even though this is supposed to be a brand new awning, it is super, super, super expensive. So it's very frustrating. And then when we went to go start drilling holes, we realized we only have 3 bolts instead of 5 bolts. So clearly, I think that this awning was already opened by someone else and it was sold to us as new, even though it's not. That's my guess.
I just ran in a bit to get 2 missing bolts and nuts. So we made 3 of these brackets, and we are trying to mount them on the FIAMA according to manual. The manual isn't very specific, so we were trying to figure out, measure it, and put them on, but we couldn't make it correctly. So we were watching a few YouTube videos, and we find out that it doesn't have to be that specific. So we're gonna just put them where we feel like it's gonna be the sturdiest and mount them on.
So we have installed all 3 of the mounts, and it took us way too long because Joseph had to go to OB. And now we are recruiting Joseph's father to help us put it up.
This is our 400 watt Maxine solar panel, and we are going to be attaching it on the roof with these beams. We are going to literally just screw 4 holes in the sides and then attach it with the bolts into this beam. And then the beams are going to be attached on the roof to the roof rails with the L brackets, which are going to hold whole thing in a place. So we are about to drill 4 holes in our solar panel, and they are exactly in, the panel is exactly 4 centimeters, same size as our beams of the roof rack. And we are drilling a hole exactly in 2 centimeters from top to bottom. I was about to attach the rail to the solar. I realized that I didn't order the long enough bolts, so I'm gonna have to order them, and it's gonna take 4 or 5 days to get them here.
So honestly, at this point, I think we should probably just name this video How Not to Install a Solar Panel or a Roof Rack, because it's not going very well for us.
We finally got the new bolts, which we are able to attach the roof rails to the solar. It was really easy. We have a gaps here, and that's exactly because on this side there's gonna be a vent, and on this side there are gonna be brackets for our Fiamma awning.
So basically, the solar panel is going to sit further towards the passenger side than the driver's side because of the vent, which is also why our awning is installed so complicatedly, because you could get an awning that you can mount from below, but because our solar panel is gigantic and we needed to have 3 vents on the roof, we didn't have enough space because we have way too much stuff on our roof for the size of our van. Our gigantic van. So since you are absolutely not going to be able to see what Joseph is doing up on the roof, I thought I'd quickly explain it. So this bar is simulating the roof rails that we've already installed. And we have these 2 L brackets, which Joseph grinded off the extra pieces, and I'm glad we did it that way because we actually looked at the L pieces that you can get, which you can mount this way, and they look terrible. They look like they wouldn't hold anything, so this actually seems better. But anyways, we're going to take 2 of these, put one here, put a bolt there and there, and then one on the back and do the same. And we're going to do that in all 4 corners, and hopefully it should be very sturdy.
Hopefully this is the last hole we are putting in our roof. We are putting in this kind of thing, I don't know how you call it, like holder for our solar cables, I guess. And we're gonna drill a hole, put the solar cables through it, and that's gonna be it. So important thing to know is that we taped these wires with electrical tape, because once we connected them to the solar, they are live and they could harm us. Fun story, when we were buying a passenger seat from one guy really far from here, we bought a seat and we went home on a highway, and side piece fell out from the car because it was probably not secured enough. So when we got home, we ordered the piece from him and it just got here. We were trying to paint the exterior for the last few days, but it was raining. We are painting from the exterior trim down to the bottom because it's the most rustiest spot on the Sprinter, and it also gets hit by stones a lot. I already prepped the van last week. I removed the exterior trim, washed the area, sanded the rust, sprayed with epoxy and painted it. I also spray painted the trim and bumpers. We are using a Raptor bedliner, and I got this spray gun which we are gonna spray it on the Sprinter. Now that the paint dry, we are gonna deal with the biggest Mercedes Sprinter flaw. It's these holes. With this plug they hold the side piece trim on, and when it's raining the rain gets in and it's really rusty, so we're gonna seal it off.
Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to see our new videos.
If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. Please share this video and give us a like.
To see more from us, check out our Instagram @JosephandKaylee, or catch up on some of our older videos.